All right, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Mindset Matters podcast. I'm your host, Riley Jensen, and today I'm super excited to bring in um, a really, really important guest, Cody Hagen, wide receiver for BYU. Um, Cody doesn't. Cody knows this, but he doesn't know how good his dad was as an athlete. So I have to give a little bit of a shout out to his dad, Sean, who I played high school football, basketball, and baseball again. We were like the last of the Mohicans of like three sport athletes, right? He was the quarterback, he was the point guard, he was shortstop, pitcher at Brighton High School, and I don't know how many years. I know your dad was drafted in like the third round of the Pirates. Is that right?
Yeah,
And
to
he
the
played
Pirates.
for like 5 years, and then
He
ended up
went.
playing for the Utes in football, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Uh, Incredible athlete, super fast. The one thing that uh, was kind of like devastating to us is Cottonwood never had a really good football team when I was playing. We're playing against Brighton. Your dad's a junior, I'm a senior. We're playing really good. We knocked the first string quarterback out, and it was your dad's first varsity start, and I think he scored both touchdowns, and we lost 14 to nothing.
Oh no.
Your dad in his first start. That's how good he was. But I just need to make sure everybody knows who Cody Hagen's dad is, Sean Hagen. So
I hear it. I hear that a lot. So
yeah, he was pretty incredible. So um so today these questions are just kind of fun. Like no pressure. I sent you some of them, but I wanted to start with like one question that I think's interesting. And I'm thinking about the mindset of things with what I do, but what's one thing or one moment in your career on or off the field that completely changed the way that you see yourself?
that's a good question. I feel like for off the field, a big thing for me was a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Big part of that is a lot of stuff that's tough, maybe things you haven't done before. Going out and preaching to people that, sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's awkward. A big thing is just getting past that mental barrier of thinking, oh man, this is scary, and kind of getting past that, knowing this is what I'm supposed to do. You can translate that to anything in life, right? You get a task that maybe is a little bit outside your comfort zone, but you can push through it.
Yeah.
Maybe on the field though, um, maybe I'm thinking of an instance. We were playing Lone Peak with my brother. It's the first time we played him my sophomore year. He was the quarterback, and we were down a good amount. And
I remember
then
this game.
our own fans left. We had other schools in the Lone Peak student section cheering against us 'cause nobody wanted us to win. And we were down a good amount. I think it was about 2 minutes left, and Cole, my brother, got us all in the huddle. We were all feeling kind of down. We hadn't really lost before, and he brought us up and was like, "Guys, like we can do this. Like, stop feeling sorry for yourselves. Like, we can get this done." And from that moment on, I think we scored like 14 in a row. Defense had a great stop, and we won the game on a buzzer beater. So just knowing,
You won the game on a buzzer beater.
no, we got set up perfectly. I just caught a ball and dove. So
I know, but you dove right there to the front pylon. I remember this throw. Your brother was rolling out to the right.
yeah,
That was a big win, wasn't it?
yeah,
Now,
it was
now
cool.
you played at Corner Canyon High School. Obviously, there's been a history of like great football there, but you played with three quarterbacks, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
So your brother was the starter your sophomore year. Is it Devin Brown your junior year?
Yeah, so Jackson Dart was my junior year, and then Devin
Oh,
was my senior year.
okay. So I got I
Yeah.
got the I got the order mixed up.
Mhm.
That's right. So you played with Jackson, then you played with Devin. Do you want to go ahead and rank those guys? No, just kidding.
They're all great. They're all great.
Yeah. Well, clearly they had good receivers. So that's interesting. Where did you go on your LDS mission?
To California, it's a San Bernardino mission. It's like Palm Springs was in it, that kind of area.
Oh, so it was nice and hot. Nice and hot
Nice and
for you.
toasty. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. If you could go back and you could give like your teenage self one piece of advice, what do you think it would be?
Um, I was thinking about this. I think a big part of it is obviously school is one thing. Make sure if you're trying to get anywhere, you need to have good grades. I had a good example, Cole, for doing that, or my parents, but even if you don't, you need to get good grades if you want to go anywhere. But I'd say another thing is make sure you focus on like the mental side of things, getting your mind right before games, getting your mind right before tests, because anyone can go out and just run, but making sure our coach used to say for track coach care that long distance, like 80% of it is mental. Like if you're running a mile long race, like your body can handle it, but you need to make sure your mental side of it is right. So I'll just say focusing on those things, school and making sure your mind's right.
Yeah. How did you do that? What kind of things, like what does it mean to you to get your mind right?
I think it takes a lot of practice, because our body, right, can go a lot further than usually it's your brain or yourself that gives out before your body does. So I think a lot of practice, a lot of, for me, it's like prayer. It's just getting calm, peace, right? Just locked in before you go and do
Yeah,
something like that.
I like that. Prayer, trying to be calm, peace.
Hmm.
I know that in the military they call it the 40% rule. At the moment that your mind first tells you that you can't go any further, you're only at 40% of your capacity, which I
That's
think
so
is
cool.
which is a really, really interesting thing, right? So the first time you feel that like, ooh, I don't think I can do it anymore, you're only at 40%. Like you could go twice as long, like
That's
almost
so crazy.
two and a half times more than what you're at. And so that's been a really interesting thing for me to study and realize. And the great athletes that I work with, like yourself and some of these guys that I'm interviewing in this series, like they're really good at pushing themselves beyond their limits. Kind of like you said
Hmm.
about your mission, like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, right?
Mm.
Seeing how far you can push yourself. What do you think drives you the most? Like, is it driving yourself to be the best version of yourself? Is it winning? Is it seeing how far you can push your body? Like, what do you think? What do you think it is that drives you?
Yeah, I'm just innately very competitive person, and so I want to be the best at what I do. So I don't care like what it is. I just want to make sure I'm the best at that. So knowing to be the best at that, you need to go work outside your practice. You need to focus on your mental game or push your body. But I'd say just
Yeah.
competitiveness, a little too much sometimes. But
Well, well, it's part of what drives you. So that's good. That's great. What's the weirdest pregame ritual or superstition you've ever had, and do you still do it?
oh man, see, for me, I don't have too crazy of rituals or anything. One thing that I do right before we go out is I have a certain way I like roll out with like a roller lacrosse ball kind of thing.
Okay.
The funniest one in high school and BYU these last years is Harrison Taggart. You probably
Yeah.
heard
Yeah.
him. Yeah. He throws up every single game before we go out on the field. So it's almost like we're all waiting for Harry to throw up and we're like, all right, we're good. We're good. So it's kind of funny.
We won't have him this year. He's at Cal,
No,
right?
sadly. Yeah.
Yeah. We it's interesting because I talk about in sports psychology about just normalizing um, fear, pressure, nerves, all that kind of stuff. And I
Hmm.
have I have a pro football player. He throws up twice before every game, and he
That's
used to
so
think
funny.
he used to think something was really wrong with him. And I'm like, well, what if that's just normal? What if that's just the way that your body gets you prepared? And he's like, oh, I never really thought about it that way. And sometimes normalizing the fact that you get nervous because everybody does. I mean, I
Mm,
don't I don't know anybody even at the high levels who doesn't get nervous because nervous means you care, right?
hmm.
It means that you're invested in what you're doing. And so that's interesting. I've kind of hid that one in my back pocket for like individual sessions, but that's interesting that Harrison Taggart every
He
single game
does every
he'll
single
throw up.
game.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
he was at corner with you and at BYU, so
Yeah, Little League corner, BYU.
yeah, that's a fun one. In your toughest mental slump, what was one thought or one person that pulled you out of it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say it'd be from an injury in high school. And obviously, you want to be on the field, you want to be competing, and you get down on yourself just waiting to be healed, waiting to get better. Sometimes it just takes time. And I think the biggest thing for me that pulled me out of that is friends and family, especially my parents. Just staying close and being able to talk to them about it, right? They'll always be there to help you get through those times and tell you, hey, I know it sucks right now, but here in 2 months you'll be back to where you were. So just
Yeah.
focus on the long game, kind of.
What was your injury?
There's one in specific. I had a groin thing going on in high school, and so I had to get surgery on it, but it was just frustrating,
How long
not
were
being
you
able to
out?
do stuff. Uh, so I ended up finishing my football season, even though it was hurting pretty bad, got surgery right as it was over, and then missed quite a bit of track, which I was frustrated about, but it was still good.
What do you think? Because I have a lot of athletes that come to me for the psychology of injury. What do you think you learned the most? Is there any residual effects or something good that came out of that?
Yeah. I would say just learning more about yourself because everyone, as soon as you aren't able to do what you love to do, is going to get down on themselves. But there's a lot more to life than just your sport. Like focusing on, if you're faithful, focusing on church, focusing on serving others, or not making it just about you and about your injury. If you have someone to take care of too, it's always easy to focus on them, not just on yourself all the time too.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's actually some real science that everybody talks about having a short memory or forgetting a
Hmm.
bad play and that kind of stuff. There's some real science that shows that when you become others focused in that moment, that it helps you to move forward quicker. And that's
Hmm.
interesting that you brought it up in the context of injury to me, because I talk about it a lot as far as like, hey, if you want to have a short memory, if you want to, like everyone has watched like Ted Lasso, and they're like, you got to have like a memory like a goldfish, right?
Yeah.
The 10-second memory. I'm like, if you really want to do that, one of the ways that you do it is you become others focused. You compliment other people. You talk to them about what they're doing well, and it helps it to be less about you. And then you can move forward from a bad play. But I like the idea of using that in the context of an injury when you're in a rut.
Hmm.
Right? It's almost a life lesson, really. When you're in a rut, when you're in a funk, when you're not feeling good about yourself, if you can serve others, it helps you to break through. Right?
Yeah. Hmm.
That's a good one. I love the psychology of injury because we've all been through it. I broke my thumb. I got my thumb caught in a face mask my sophomore year, so I was
Ah.
out for the season. And then I broke my collarbone in the first game of the year against Bingham my junior year, and the seventh game of the year against Brighton my junior year. So I was out for that season. And
Oh.
I think the thing that I learned the most is, I was starting varsity in basketball and football or basketball and baseball and playing against your dad, but I loved football, right?
Hmm.
That was really hard. So the one thing that I learned from an injury is just how much I loved it, right? And how much I
Yeah.
I love to compete, how much I love to like, use the gifts that kind of like you said God gave you, like,
Mm.
and and so that's an interesting thought. I like what you said there. If you if you weren't an athlete and you're out crushing it in some other field right now, what would it be?
Oh man. Um, I'm gonna say, well, I'll give you one real answer. Probably some type of, I'm in exercise science is what I'm studying right now and
Uh-huh.
possibly medical school. So I'd say some type of surgeon or anesthesiologist. Um, but also pickleball. I know still gotta be an
Oh,
athlete,
okay.
but I'll take
Okay.
anyone in pickleball. I'm gonna become pro after football. So,
All right. All right. You're pretty good. You have to talk to Owen Borg's dad is an anesthesiologist. You'll have to like do an
oh,
internship.
I didn't know that. I'll have to talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah, Owen Borg's dad played quarterback at Snow College with me way back in the
Oh
day.
no way.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
know that. That's funny.
um so the next question is, what's the most unexpected life lesson that you've learned from someone else, a teammate, a friend, anyone like that?
Hmm. Um, I feel like when I got to BYU off my mission, you got 2 years without football, and I wanted to just like 7 days a week, all day, every day, just football, 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 and just get better and be able to get on the field. And I think I was talking to Chase Roberts, who's been a great mentor for me, come back from a mission. He had surgery. He's trying to get back in time. But something he told me is you don't need to, there needs to be rest days. There needs to be you need to have a well-balanced life is essentially the kind of core of what he was telling me, have time for your family, some time for your friends, Make sure you are going to church. There's a lot of things that keep your life balanced, and you'll be better off in football in the long run if you keep a balanced
Mm.
life, which is something you wouldn't really expect from a great college athlete. So something a
No,
little
I like
different.
that. The
Mm.
Division I athletes that I've worked with and that I've been able to be around, one of the things that's interesting about that is I find that elite athletes and professional athletes, people that are in the Olympics, skiers that I've worked with, is they're really good at the grind. They're not very good at recovery.
Mm.
And I think that's kind of what you guys are hinting at here, right? Like
Yeah.
Chase and you, is that like, okay, yes, you have to work hard. And most athletes that are really good at working hard, but are they good at putting on the recovery boots? Are they
Mm.
good at like getting in the ice bath? Are they good at like taking a few moments away from football on the weekends to like recharge and recalibrate and
Mm.
reload, right? And
Nutrition and
yeah, yeah, and those are
hydration.
those are
Yeah.
those are hard things because they don't, for some reason, they don't get emphasized as much or they don't feel as important, right?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but one of my high school coaches told me when I went to play college football, he's like, "Hey, remember, this is a marathon. This isn't a sprint. You gotta pace yourself, And I think that's kind of what maybe Chase was talking about and what
Yeah,
you're talking
exactly.
about is like, hey, sometimes you got to stop and take a break. Sometimes you got to get a Gatorade. Sometimes you got to get, a protein bar while you're doing this,
Hmm.
and that can include prayer, that can include relaxation, taking some time to yourself, school, family, all these different things that are going on while you're in school. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. Um, if you could have a conversation with any athlete, living or legendary, who would it be, and what would you ask them?
Oh man. Um, I mean, someone like Muhammad Ali, like Tom Brady.
Ooh, Muhammad's right
Um,
behind me here. I like that one.
yeah, there you
Tom
go.
Brady.
I mean, Tiger Woods, even like people that just dominated for a good amount of time, someone that wasn't just a one win kind of guy. It was domination, someone who stayed at the top for quite a long time. So I think that's what I'd ask him is what'd you focus on? Your mental side? What were your routines like?
Yeah,
So I'm sure they'd have some pretty good insight for that.
yeah, yeah. I think we can learn a lot just from studying those guys, right? Like even if we don't get to interview them or like be with them, like just
Mm,
studying them, studying their work ethic, studying their quotes, like what they were thinking about, what they were doing. I think that's
mm.
that's pretty fun. I like that. Um, what's one thing that maybe fans or people that are listening to this podcast, what's one thing that they would be surprised to know about the life of a college athlete? What do you think?
Um,
What do you think is like different than you thought? What do you think is like odd that maybe they don't know?
yeah, one thing that is definitely a lot different than I thought, or maybe what people don't think about is we spend probably twice the amount of time watching film or like scripts, reviewing scripts of script as in what we're going to practice that day, what plays we're going to run. We spend more time reviewing the plays, learning them, mastering the concepts, watching film of other team. Like as a team, we do more as a team like that than we do on the field. So it's a lot more watching film, a lot more
Yeah.
getting your mind right before you go out and perform it. So,
Yeah, I think it's interesting when I first started at Weber State, I mean they knew I played college football, but the one of the things the athletic director and the assistant athletic director, Amy Crosby, was asking me is she's like, dude, the amount of film that goes into football. And I'm like, I know, right? It's
there's a
because you're
lot.
playing you're playing chess, not checkers, right?
No kidding.
You're trying to find any advantage that you can get. I mean, just the way that somebody aligns can give away a whole defense, right?
Oh, for
And
sure. Yeah.
and the way somebody, I don't know, that's part of what I love about football. And I think that I didn't find that love till I got to college. I mean, I
Hmm.
I thought I did. Like I thought I was watching, but
You never know.
there's a
Yeah.
whole different level, right, in college. And then
Yeah.
I'm hearing from some of the guys that I'm interviewing that the level in the pros is just amazing. And there's so much access to information. I was watching a middle linebacker the other day that was talking about when the tight end is off the ball, right? and he was the middle linebacker. This was fascinating to me, and I don't even play this position, but he's like, the guy who is off the ball that's playing tight end will take me to the football every time. He'll tell me exactly what's going to happen. He goes, I don't read guards, I don't read, and he was talking about how that guy will either take me to like the power play, he'll take me to the counter play, he'll take me to the pass play, and I was like, golly, that's a really good insight. And then, purposely as an offensive coordinator, I'm going, okay, so how can I break that rule?
Yeah,
Right? Like,
exactly.
how can I break that rule so that he's at least a little bit off balance, right? And that all goes back to film work, right? And
Yeah,
he was
it's
talking,
so
he was
crazy.
walking us through a play, and he walked us through like four different plays where that guy that was off the ball took him right to the football. And
That's so funny.
and then they showed it, and I was like, that is so amazing, right? Like, and so
It's
that's
so
kind of
crazy.
fun. That's the fun thing about football, right? Is like you can find things like that, and you can find consistencies in a defense that way too. Like
Hmm.
this guy will give it away every time, whether it's a blitz, whether it's man to man, whether it's zone, and I need to know those things as a wide receiver to get to where I need to be, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot more to it.
That's fun. That's a good one. As a college athlete, and you're at a major what we call P4 university now. How do you handle the pressure of social media, criticism when it feels like everybody's watching? Do you have any tricks to that? Are you on social media? Do you take a pause from it? Like what do you do?
Yeah, I would say um maybe when you're feeling like that, like social media is getting in your head. I'm not on social media all that much. I have accounts, but just staying away from because everyone has an opinion, and even if you don't agree, like if you're reading into all that, like it's gonna get in your head no matter what. So my advice and what I do is I just stay out of it. Like anytime there's any articles about controversial opinions, right? There's no need to read them. Just keep your mind on what's true and from your coaches, from your teammates, and just lock in on that.
Yeah, yeah. Most of the people that I work with, I tell them for sure to just not be on it during their season, and then if they're
Yeah.
on it during the off season, to give themselves some pretty like hard parameters, or some understanding that they don't want to be on it all the time.
For sure.
The one advice that I give to some athletes is, hey, if you wouldn't go to them for advice, why would
Don't
you go
listen
to
to their
them for
opinion.
criticism, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
there's no reason to listen to their criticism. They don't know. And, you know, somebody that I interviewed, I can't even remember who it is now. I should know this because I've just been started these interviews. He's like, half the time it's bots anyway.
Yeah,
It's
no
probably not
kidding.
even a real person, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I get DMs and every time it's from someone that went and created a fake account so they then could DM you because they don't want their face behind it. It's like,
Right.
well, why didn't you just talk to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
so dumb.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I've realized by talking to other mental performance coaches and sports psychologists is they're telling me that most of them are gamblers that have lost money. And so a lot of
On
times
your,
when they're telling you bad things, they're mad about a play because they lost money, not
that
because
makes
they.
sense.
So it's the degenerates of the gambling world that
Uh,
get to people. So that's kind
that's
of
funny.
an interesting one.
Yeah,
But
that
that's all
is.
the like main questions. This one is kind of like the rapid fire question. These ones I didn't send to you because they're just a little quicker because I want them to be like right from your heart.
Okay.
So, what's one catch you've made in college or even earlier that still gives you chills when you think about it? And what was that moment like?
Um, I'm gonna say the one we already mentioned today, but the one against Lone Peak to win the game. Cole, our concept was I was supposed to rub behind a receiver. He ended up not going in front of me, so the play was wrong, and I just ended up running out to the flat, and then he got tackled, launched it up, and then we scored to win the game for a buzzer beater.
Oh,
That's definitely the best one, brother to
that's
brother.
interesting. So what you're telling me is conditions don't have to be perfect for you to win.
No, the play went to crap, but we still got it
So
off.
you didn't
So
even get the rub. You were
no,
supposed to go off his butt. He went
yep,
behind you. You went over the top, and you still beat him to the corner, and we still scored.
we still got
I love
it.
it. I love it. If you could choreograph a touchdown celebration with no penalties, what would it look like? And what's the
Mm.
song that's playing?
I'm gonna say something with like a lot, not just yourself, right? I'm talking,
Yeah.
the one where you row the boat.
Yeah, yeah,
Got
yeah,
like
yeah.
the whole team in a line, you're all sitting down rowing the boat. Maybe something like that. And the song, um, I don't know, something like Michael Jackson. Put some Michael Jackson to it while
All
you're
right.
rowing the boat. That's
There you
my
go. There you go.
celebration.
It reminds me of some quote. The only person, let's see, the only person in the boat that is complaining is usually the one that's not rowing.
That makes
Right?
sense. Not
Yeah.
working, yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of that quote. So, all right, next question. What's the most ridiculous route running advice you've ever gotten, and did you ever try it out?
Oh man. There's some crazy things out there, and a lot of
Isn't
people have
there?
opinions. I remember I was at a camp. Um, it was out in California. This was early on. I think it was freshman year. I was trying to get looked at, and one of the guys really didn't know what he was talking about, and he was telling us that every time we like went for the like after you run the route, every time you went for the ball, he told us to fake our hands up, bring him down so the DB puts his hands up, and then put him up again to try and catch the ball. And I still laugh
Wow.
about it because, like,
Wow.
how would you ever have time? You're caught in a route. You're
Well,
gonna go
and
forward.
it would also slow you down in the middle of
Yeah.
the
And he'd catch up to you. Anyway,
wow.
that's probably the
Wow,
weirdest one.
dude, that is weird. That's one
Yeah.
I've never heard before, and I hope I never hear it again.
No, never. I'm sure you got fired.
Wow. Wow. Um, so as a wide receiver, a lot of times you're in the spotlight, and you play against probably the most arrogant position of football, which are cornerbacks and safeties, right? Like those
Oh,
guys
for
love to
sure.
run
For
it.
sure.
So my question is, what's the funniest or weirdest thing that a corner or a safety has ever said to you mid-game to try and throw you off?
Um,
There has to be guys that have talked smack to you.
man. Oh,
Anything you respect or anything that made you laugh or anything that was like,
man. There's always something, and it's usually a lot of swear words, but maybe something funny is they'd try and like they'd like research your family and then they'd like say your sister's name or your mom's name or like trying
oh,
to like be for your girlfriend's name or something like
okay.
that, try and get in your head. So that one always
Yeah,
makes me laugh because that stuff, I don't know, I guess I'm calm, but that stuff doesn't
yeah.
get me amped too much. So
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? I that actually reminded me of a story when I was playing. So my third start at Utah State, we were playing at Colorado.
mm.
And typically when you're on the road, you don't listen to any of the fans, right? Like, and I
No.
went out there really early. Like it was like right when we got there, I would go out there and just kind of throw the ball around and try. And for some reason that I saw there was a whole group of guys in like yellow shirts, right? And they're all yelling my name, and I'm like, dude, this isn't my first time at a rodeo. Like I know not to. And then one dude started yelling because I went on my LDS mission to France. He
Yeah.
started yelling my name in French, and he's like, Elder Jensen, tu me reconnais pas? And he was like, you don't recognize me? You don't remember me? And he got me to look, and I looked, and they all flipped me off. And I had to freaking respect it, dude, because they did their homework. They
That's pretty
said
good.
something in French. They said, "Hey, you don't recognize me? You don't remember me?" And so it made me look, and they
Oh,
all flipped
that's
me off.
funny.
And
I've
I
never heard of that before. That's a
that
good
was a
one.
good one. That was a good one.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I was okay with that one. All I did was laugh. I mean,
Oh yeah.
what do you do on something like
What
that?
else would you do?
um. All right. So, what's the most unexpected thing that you've learned about yourself from all the hours? Like, I call it the monotony of the lonely work, right? So all the hours that you put in, what's the most unexpected thing that you've learned about yourself from the lonely
Most
work?
unexpected thing. I'm trying to think of unexpected. I feel like you're going to learn a lot about yourself, like what your limits are. And I think the people who are still in it during college and pro, they've found a way to lock in during football, even though it's a grind, it's monotonous, but then still have a mindset shift after football to then carry on their life. Or, maybe you have a wife, you have kids. Um, I'd say the unexpected thing for me is being able to now, go take care of business, but then go back to life, classroom, school, friends, family, girlfriend, whatever it is, to just be the same person and not let football ruin your
Yeah.
life if you had a bad
Yeah.
practice.
So for me, that kind of has to do with like your self-esteem or your self-value not revolving around whether football
Hmm.
practice was good, whether the game was good, that kind of stuff.
No, totally, yeah.
That's hard to do, isn't it?
Oh, very hard.
Yeah. Because a lot of your life, I mean, when did you start playing football?
Oh man.
8 years
Tackle
old?
football like
7?
7?
7 years old. And how
Yeah,
old are you now?
21.
So 21 minus 7 is 14. So 12 years of your life, and knock on wood, hopefully another 10 years,
Oh, for sure.
has been revolved around, and your self-esteem and some of your value has been revolved around the fact that you're a good football player. So that's a hard thing to do. That's a
Yeah,
hard thing
and
to do.
Kalani, our head coach, he drills that into us. I'll make it quick, but there's a story he shared, and he shared it to us multiple times, that one of his proudest moments was we had just lost a game, and his kid at the time was younger, and the kid asked him, his own kid, obviously, asked him, "Did we win or did we lose, Dad?" And Kalani was so happy because obviously they weren't old enough to know, but they also couldn't tell by the way he was acting
Oh,
to his kids. So he drills that into us, like, no matter if we win or lose, once you leave this locker room, you go and love your families, tell them you appreciate them coming, and you're so happy to be able to be in this situation. Like, just be appreciative of what you have. So
yeah, I like that.
he's a
I
great
like
coach
that.
for that.
I love it. Um, if you could line up against a legendary cornerback from the NFL for one play, who would it be, and what route would you run to beat him?
Oh man, this one's tough. Maybe like a Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
It's got a lot of hype.
yeah.
Um, that's a good one. I'd probably say him. And the
What
route
route
I'd
would you run?
run,
Yeah,
I love a good go ball,
yeah,
obviously, but I
yeah.
also love like a dig. I'd probably
Okay,
run like a go or a dig. So
gotcha,
those are some
gotcha.
of my favorites.
One of my one of my favorite routes to call as an offensive coordinator is because of Deion Sanders. He told me, well, he didn't tell me. I wasn't talking to him personally. He said in an interview that the hardest route to cover in his world was a drag route in man to man, right?
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? Because he
Oh,
said
for
there's so
sure.
much to go through and get around and still make the play. And so I've used that again, like listening to people talk. I'm like, okay, so how can I use that against the best player that I'm coaching
Yeah,
against? Right?
listen to
Like,
one of the best. Yeah.
how can I use a drag route to beat a guy that's really fast? And so
Yeah.
that
No,
that
that one
was
makes sense.
that's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody talks about the go route. Everybody talks about like the whip route or the jerk route, which is kind of like you come in and then you look like you're going out, then you go back in, right?
Yeah.
And I love those. Like those are all fun. But when you hear somebody like Dion say like a drag route is really tough to beat, like okay,
You listen.
that's
Yeah.
good to know. That's good to know, right? Um, what's the strangest pregame meal or snack that you've seen a teammate eat? And have you ever been tempted to try it?
Oh man. Actually this year we were playing, it was an away game. I can't remember which away game, and like they usually have a very consistent meal for us every single game day, but this time they had I love Mexican food, but it was a little more authentic than what I liked. And they had what do they call them? They're wrapped in it's like a corn wrapping. You know,
Taquitos?
no, I don't know fast. Let me find it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know tamales.
Tamales. Yeah.
And I had a teammate who ate like 8 or 9 tamales. Like, I was
Before
like,
the
how are
game.
you? He's
Before
never
the
had them
game.
before. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Wow.
But it was just, I don't know. That one sticks out. That one's funny.
That feels a little strange.
Yeah.
That definitely does not feel like something that I would want to eat 8 or 9 of before a game.
We have some people that just eat straight pasta before the game. No meat, no fat, just
Yeah.
straight pasta. So a lot of
Yeah.
carbs, but I guess that's
Yeah.
fairly normal.
Yeah. Um, when you're in a high pressure moment, like a game-winning catch, or you know that there's like a big play that's coming to you, is there a thought or a mantra that you have like that helps you to believe in yourself or to remember who you are?
Um, Not really like something in specific, but I feel like I just try and zone out everything that's going on and just focus on the guy in front of me. Like, I got to beat this guy. Like, maybe if it's a certain route, like, there's certain things I work on each week. Like, make sure I get to my depth of 20 yards and make sure I know this one's coming to me. I got to run this hard. Just maybe
Yeah,
things like that, but nothing specific, I guess. No.
I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
So you like to get maybe just a little bit more process oriented, like the one-on-one matchup or the things that you have to do to win the matchup type
Yeah,
thing.
maybe just zone out everything that's going on in the stadium, the crowd, other defenders, and just focus on the 20 yards with
Yeah.
the guy in front of you.
Is it, and I know the answer for me, but I'm just wondering for you, like people always talk about the pressure of college football, and I know that everybody gets nervous, but does that go away pretty quickly in the game for you? And then it's hard to even like really notice what the crowd's doing and everything because you're so focused on
Yeah.
your job.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, sometimes when you're like trying to hear the quarterback say the call, usually we have something on the sidelines where we know the call without words being communicated. But when maybe someone's trying to talk, it's loud. But other than that, like I don't even notice the fans at all. It's
Right.
such a weird thing. But
Isn't
yeah,
that a weird thing? I
yeah,
always thought that was weird. People are like, "What's it like to play at University of Washington with 80,000 fans?" And I'm like, I don't know, same as it was to play Brighton at
yeah.
Wood Stadium
I
when I
don't
was
even
in high
hear it.
school. Yeah,
It's just all a blur. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, what's one behind the scenes moment from a wide receiver room that fans would be shocked or amazed to know about? Like what do you guys talk about? What do you laugh about? What's something funny about your group?
Um, let's think. We're
Or
definitely
maybe
a high
somebody
end.
that's funny. Who's the funniest guy on your in your wide
The
receiver group?
funniest guy. Um, you knew like Darius Lassiter?
Yeah.
He's funny. Like a lot of people don't know, but he's funny. JoJo's really funny. Something funny within our room, we have a little mini basketball hoop and we'll
Uh,
play a game, whatever you want to call it, of like the speed or whatever. I know there's a bunch of different names, lightning. We'll play
yeah,
that
yeah.
before we start any meeting with everyone. So that's
Oh,
something kind of
nice.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny guys in our room though. It's a good time. Fessy's great. He laughs a lot, makes a lot of jokes, so
Yeah.
keeps it light.
Yes, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. Well, I have a this will be my last question. I have a 10-year-old son. He watches all these things. He watches, we know Jackson Dart. Our family knows Jackson Dart. You know him. We know your family. We're constantly after his football games on Saturdays, we're tuning in to different players and games. And I'm like, hey, I know that guy. You should watch this guy. And is there any advice that you have for a 10-year-old football player? And what would it be? What would you say to him if you could give any advice to a young kid?
Question. Um, I think at that age, like, just make sure you're having fun. Because even now, like, we're still having fun out there. Don't make it too much of a grind that you're not having fun. Because then you're not going to want to go out and work extra. So I'd say just make sure you're having fun. And honestly, it's never too young to start some speed work. I remember I started very, very young. Just get
Yeah,
your form down. That way you never have to worry about some kink in your form that causes an injury later on. So get your form early when you're running and just focus on the fun of it. Yeah.
I like it.